Good morning. We are using big data to analyze China's media and global affairs. I'm Sutter Laird.
I'm Maximilian Ranga.
Diego Garcia.
And we had the honor of working with two great mentors from the Naval Postgraduate School in Monterey. They were Dr. Elizabeth Gooch, who's an assistant professor of economics, and Eric Ekstrand, who's a research associate with the School of Operational Research.
All right, so in recent years, the U.S. has taken notice in China's growing economy and political strength. The Chinese government has been funding underdeveloped countries, such as sending money to Nigeria in an effort to help them build roads. And this project, we wanted to gather data to understand what China's goals are in these foreign nations and who exactly they're targeting. So to do this, we decided to use big data and gather a lot of information. And we specifically wanted to look at news articles from across the world and look at specifically the tone of the author who authored the articles. And that brings us to GDELP 2.0, which offers nearly 20 terabytes of data, and it's powered by Google, and it keeps track of trillions of articles from all across the world in 65 different languages, translating them all into English, and it keeps track of separate data such as the tone of the article, where the event occurred, who it affects. And the main component that we were looking at with this project was the tone of each individual article and how the author felt that it impacted their nation, or how China's news agencies might differ from Western sources as well as local sources.
This is a list of tools we use for this project. We use Amazon Web Service and running on MySQL to gather data, and we use Python to generate table. And with that result, we stored that to CSV file, and we stored that CSV file to Plotly for visualization tool. Then we use a Heroku app. On the process of this project, the first step is we chose the region of the world targeting each country. And the second step, we list all the sources in China events. And the third step, we calculate the number of articles, the average tone, and standard deviation in tone for each type of media and each covenant level.
Along the way, we ran into some major challenges. Initially, our queries took unreasonably long to complete, talking weeks or even months. So we were able to improve that with optimizing our query structure and by implementing some indexes into the data, which took those massive time-consuming queries down to a reasonable time and made it possible to actually complete this project. One of the steps we took along the way was to meet with a professional Java developer. This is Dave Volk. And when I went to speak with him, PG&E had cut the power to his house, so we actually drew ER diagrams, optimized queries on paper, without access to any computers or internet. And in the end, our results were really difficult to understand. We had hundreds of CSV files full of floating point values that were just completely impossible to visualize. So that's where we used Dash to develop these heat maps. This is one of my personal favorite heat maps. This is the average tone of articles about events involving China in each country as reported by the Chinese state-run media. A couple of countries that stand out here are Mali and West Africa, where we see that the tone is actually fairly negative, which compared to the rest of the map is pretty uncommon for the Chinese media. They're pretty happy about their own actions. And then another country that stands out is Turkmenistan, where we see an overwhelmingly positive tone. And I should note that the tone is on a scale of -100 to +100, with the vast majority of articles between -10 and +10. Looking forward, another capstone group will take over for us in the spring They're going to use GDELT's global knowledge graph to further refine this data by theme. Our mentors are going to continue their analysis of our results with the hope of publishing a journal article about this work sometime in the spring. They also have an economics student and a computer science student who are looking at doing their master's theses based on this data. And it's already been presented at the Middlebury Institute for International Studies here in Monterey, where an economics student who had worked with the UN came up to our mentor and told her that this was a project he had been interested in, but had never been able to approach, and we made it approachable. So that was really cool. So this is a really cool semester and a really exciting opportunity to work with some real world data.